Your skin doesn't know how much your skincare routine cost. It doesn't care about the 11-step routine you saw this morning, the $400 serum, or the filter you used on your last selfie. Your skin only responds to about 4 or 5 things, and almost none of them are things you can buy in a single afternoon. Today I'm breaking down what actually makes skin look like it's glowing from the inside, the real biology behind it, and separating that from the stuff that just drains your bank account and your energy. If you've ever felt like you're doing everything right and still not seeing results, stick around because there's a reason for that, and it's not that you're doing something wrong. It's that you've been given the wrong list. Let's start by talking about why the quick fix approach fails almost everyone. There's a very specific cycle a lot of people fall into. You have a rough week, you feel low about how you look, so you do a big reset, new products, an intense exfoliation session, maybe a few new actives all layered on at once, and for a day or two you feel amazing. Then the results fade, your skin might even look worse because you overloaded it, and you're left wondering why nothing works for you specifically. Here's the thing, skin is not a light switch. It's closer to a garden. You don't get a garden to bloom by dumping every fertilizer you own on it in one afternoon. You get it to bloom with the right conditions applied consistently over time. So before we get into anything else, I want you to let go of the idea that glowing skin is an event. It's not something that happens on a Sunday, it's the visible result of what your body has been doing for weeks. So what is glow biologically speaking? It's actually pretty simple once you understand it. Skin that looks radiant is skin that's smooth and evenly hydrated enough to reflect light in a uniform way. When your skin barrier is intact and well hydrated, light bounces off it evenly, which our eyes read as luminous or glowing. When the barrier is compromised, dry, flaky, inflamed, congested, light scatters unevenly, and that reads as dull. So in a very real sense, glow is not magic. It's optics. And that means the goal isn't to add more products, it's to protect and support the barrier that's already doing the work. Let's talk about that barrier for a second because everything else in this video builds on it. The outermost layer of your skin is called the stratum corneum, and it's often described as a brick and mortar structure. Skin cells are the bricks and lipids like ceramides, cholesterol, and fatty acids are the mortar holding it all together. This barrier's whole job is to keep water in and irritants out. When it's healthy, your skin looks calm, smooth, and yes, glowy. When it's damaged, from over-exfoliating, over-cleansing, harsh weather, or stress, that's when you start seeing redness, sensitivity, breakouts, and dullness. A huge percentage of what people call bad skin days is actually just a barrier that's asking for a break. So let's go through the foundational habits that actually support that barrier, starting with the most boring and most important one, cleansing. Over-cleansing is one of the most common mistakes I see. Washing your face twice a day with a gentle, non-stripping cleanser is generally plenty for most people. If your skin feels tight, squeaky, or uncomfortable after washing, that's usually a sign the cleanser is too harsh for your skin, not a sign that you're getting extra clean. A gentle cleanse in the morning and a slightly more thorough one at night to remove sunscreen, oil, and debris from the day is really the baseline most dermatologists recommend. Next is moisturizing, and I want to clear up a common misconception here. Moisturizing isn't just for dry skin. Even oily and acne-prone skin benefits from a lightweight moisturizer because when skin is dehydrated, it can actually overproduce oil to compensate, which can make breakouts worse, not better. Look for ingredients like hyaluronic acid and glycerin, which are humectants that pull water into the skin, paired with ceramides, which help rebuild that barrier we just talked about. You don't need 10 ingredients to do this well. You genuinely need a cleanser and a moisturizer that work for your specific skin type before anything else matters. And now the one dermatologists will not stop talking about, because it might be the single most evidence-backed anti-aging step that exists, sunscreen. Broad spectrum SPF 30 or higher, reapplied through the day if you're outside for extended periods, is the closest thing skincare has to a proven fountain of youth. UV exposure is the leading external cause of premature wrinkles, uneven tone, and loss of skin elasticity over time. It's often called photoaging. and it's estimated to be responsible for a very large share of visible skin aging compared to natural aging alone. You can spend hundreds of dollars on serums, but if you're skipping sunscreen, you're working against yourself every single day the sun is up, even on cloudy days, even indoors near windows. Now let's talk about actives, because this is where I think a lot of people either go too aggressive too fast, or feel overwhelmed and avoid them completely. Vitamin C is an antioxidant that can help protect skin from environmental damage and support a more even tone over time. Niacinamide is a gentler ingredient that a lot of skin types tolerate well, and it's often used to help support the barrier and balance oil production. Retinoids, which include over-the-counter retinol and prescription-strength options, are some of the most well-studied ingredients in skincare for encouraging cell turnover and supporting collagen production. But they're also the ingredient most likely to cause irritation if you introduce them too quickly. The general wisdom here is, start slow, introduce one new active at a time, patch test before applying anything to your full face, and give your skin weeks, not days, to adjust. If you're combining multiple strong actives, or if you have a specific concern like persistent acne, eczema, or rosacea, that's genuinely a conversation worth having with a board-certified dermatologist rather than piecing it together from videos, because what works for one person's barrier can seriously irritate someone else's. Let's shift for a moment, because glow isn't only about what you put on your skin, it's also about what's happening underneath it. This is where things get interesting, because your skin is deeply connected to the rest of your body in ways that aren't always obvious. Let's start with sleep. During deep sleep, your body increases blood flow to the skin and ramps up collagen production and cellular repair. This is genuinely why the phrase beauty sleep exists. There's real biology behind it. Poor or insufficient sleep has been associated with a more compromised skin barrier, slower recovery from environmental stress, and a duller, more fatigued appearance. This doesn't mean one bad night ruins your skin. It means that consistent, quality sleep over weeks is doing quiet, invisible maintenance work that no product can fully replace. Then there's stress, and this one deserves real attention because it's so underrated. There's an entire field called psychodermatology that studies the relationship between the mind and the skin, and the connection is stronger than most people realize. When you're under chronic stress, your body produces more cortisol, and elevated cortisol has been linked to increased oil production, a weakened skin barrier, and flare-ups of conditions like acne, eczema, and even psoriasis in people who are prone to them. This is likely why so many of us notice breakouts during exam season, big life transitions, or high-pressure periods at work. It's not a coincidence, and it's not just in your head. Managing stress through things like regular movement, adequate sleep, and simply giving yourself permission to slow down isn't a soft, secondary tip. For your skin specifically, it's doing real physiological work. Diet is another piece of this, and I want to be careful here because there's a lot of noise online about miracle foods and cure-all diets. What the research actually supports is more moderate than that. Diets rich in antioxidants, think colorful fruits and vegetables, and omega-3 fatty acids, found in things like fatty fish, walnuts, and flaxseed, are generally associated with skin that shows fewer signs of inflammation and oxidative stress. On the flip side, some research suggests that diets very high in refined sugar and highly processed carbohydrates may be associated with increased acne severity in some people, possibly related to blood sugar spikes and inflammation. This isn't a directive to cut out every treat you enjoy. It's more that if your skin struggles and your diet is heavily processed foods, that's one variable worth looking at alongside everything else. Ideally with guidance from a doctor or registered dietitian if you want a personalized plan. And hydration, yes, drinking enough water supports your overall health and organ function, but I want to be honest with you, drinking extra water alone isn't going to dramatically transform dry skin the way topical hydration will. Your skin's surface hydration relies far more on your barrier function and the products you're applying than on how many liters you drink in a day. So stay hydrated for your body, but don't expect it to replace a good moisturizer. Now here's a question, and I'd genuinely love to hear the answer in the comments. What's your skin type? And what's the one skin concern you wish someone would just explain simply instead of trying to sell you something for it? I read every comment on these videos, and it genuinely shapes what I cover next, so let me know. Let's talk about the piece almost nobody wants to hear: consistency and time. Your skin has a natural turnover cycle where old cells are shed and replaced with new ones. In younger skin, this cycle tends to take around 3 to 4 weeks. As we age, it typically slows down. What that means practically is this: when you start a new routine or a new active ingredient, you often won't see meaningful results for 4 to 8 weeks, sometimes longer for concerns like hyperpigmentation or texture. This is exactly why the Sunday reset approach so many people try never sticks. You're expecting a biological process that takes weeks to show up in 24 hours, and when it doesn't, you assume it failed and jump to the next trend. The truth is a lot less exciting but a lot more effective. Pick a small, simple routine: cleanser, moisturizer, sunscreen, and maybe one active, and give it real time before judging whether it's working. I also want to gently push back on the idea that an elaborate routine equals better skin. More products means more variables, more potential for irritation, and more chances that two ingredients are actually working against each other. Some of the clearest, healthiest skin belongs to people running remarkably simple routines. Expensive doesn't mean effective, and natural doesn't automatically mean gentle. Plenty of natural ingredients are just as capable of irritating skin as synthetic ones. What actually matters is whether an ingredient is formulated well and suited to your specific skin. Before we wrap up, I want to say clearly, everything in this video is general education, not a diagnosis or a personalized treatment plan. If you're dealing with persistent acne, unexplained rashes, sudden changes in your skin, or anything that's affecting your confidence or daily life in a real way, please see a board-certified dermatologist. They can look at your actual skin, your history, and build something suited to you. And honestly, that appointment will save you more money and frustration than any amount of trial and error with products. So if I had to leave you with one idea from all of this, it's that glowing skin isn't really about doing more. It's about protecting your barrier, being consistent with a few well-chosen habits, and understanding that sleep, stress, and diet are quietly part of your skincare routine, whether you've been treating them that way or not. It's not going to happen in a weekend, and honestly, that's kind of the good news, because it means it's not a secret you missed. It's just a process that rewards patience. If this helped you see your skin a little differently, hit subscribe, because I've got more of these science-based breakdowns coming, including one soon on how to actually build a simple routine from scratch depending on your skin type. Drop a comment with your skin type and your biggest question, and I'll see you in the next one.